Hey, Travis Hornsby from Student Loan Planner. Have you heard about the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program? It's a program that you have to pay 10 years of income-based payments, and you have to work at a full-time position in an government or not-for-profit employer. And basically, when you fully pay those 10 years of payments that are based on your income, if you happen to have direct federal loans, then you're supposed to be able to have your loans forgiven tax-free. Now, there's this big report in the media saying that 99% of people that just applied for PSLF were denied. People are saying things like, this shows that it's harder to get PSLF than to get into Harvard. Other people in other media sources are saying that it's just not possible that PSLF is actually going to happen. That is ridiculous, and nobody seems to understand how the PSLF program works and what it does. So just to give you kind of an idea of why people are missing the mark on this and why the PSLF snowball effect is going to result in millions of people getting loans forgiven under this program, let me kind of fill you in on what the program was designed to do. So back when they passed this thing in about 2007, Congress said that only direct loans qualified. Well, at the time, in 2007, about 80% of all federal student loans were being issued under something called the FFEL loan program, also called FFEL. This FFEL loan program was basically a program where banks would issue debt and the government would guarantee it. It didn't have access to really great loan forgiveness programs. Really, all you could do back in the day was do something called ICR. Now, a few things happened along the way. In 2009, IBR became accessible to people, which is a way easier to understand repayment program. Then in 2013, pay-as-you-earn became something that people could use and access. A lot of people are not eligible for pay-as-you-earn. So in 2016, revised pay-as-you-earn happened, and now a lot of people are able to access that plan. So if you think about the journey of people on direct loans that are making payments on a qualifying plan, it's been steadily increasing over time, and back in 2007, 2008 timeframe, you had to have only direct loans, paying on ICR initially, and then switching on to IBR later, and you had to have no FFEL loans. You had to have everything perfect. You had to be working full-time at a not-for-profit or government employer while keeping records of everything, because you probably were not at Fed Loan Servicing, and so when your loans got moved to Fed Loan Servicing, you probably had to appeal with them to get all of those payments counted correctly from your prior loan servicer. That got fixed in 2012 with the addition of the Employment Certification Form, or ECF. The ECF form is designed so that you can have a paper trail along the way building up your 120 months of cumulative credit that you need to see your loans forgiven. So back in 2007 or 2008, that's when people would have had to start doing everything the right way in order to get their loans forgiven in 2018, right? Because of 10 years of credit that you need cumulatively while paying based on your income. The problem is if you look at the percent of the federal loan portfolio that was in an income-driven repayment plan that was a direct loan, it is tiny. We know this because in 2013, only 7% of the entire federal loan portfolio was direct loans being paid on an income-based repayment program. And that was 2013 when people would be potentially eligible for loan forgiveness under the PSLF program in 2023. We're talking about 2008 timeframe when people would be eligible today who would be potentially applying for PSLF. A lot of people have had federal loans before 2008. So what happened, in my view, is a lot of people applied without really understanding what the loan program actually says in the documents, where it's very clear you have to have direct federal loans to be able to qualify for this. And so people are applying with non-qualifying loans, in some cases finding out, unfortunately, that they're not eligible at all. Well, because they didn't submit the employment certification form that's existed since 2012. They didn't realize that the PSLF program is only for direct loans, and so you can consolidate older loans to make them eligible, but you actually have to do that to get that fixed. I'm not saying that that's a good thing. It's just the reality that you have to actually be engaged managing your student loans and motivated and paying attention, or else you're going to get run over by this ridiculously complex system that the federal government has designed. It doesn't mean that it's a good thing. It's just the way it is. People who don't pay attention to their taxes pay more than they need to pay in taxes. People who don't pay attention to their investments get screwed over with high-fee funds that are sold to them by salespeople instead of actual real financial advisors. So if you want to get access to the PSLF program, first of all, tune out the noise realize that most people writing about the PSLF program in the media do not understand the math behind the program and are tourists in the student loan industry instead of experts. And what you should do is set up everything in the way that it will qualify for PSLF and get you the most forgiven. So if you're in a community property state, not in a community property state, filing taxes jointly or separately, maximizing retirement accounts, choosing the right payment plan between pay, repay, IVR. These are decisions that are somewhat complicated, especially when you factor in a lot of things that happen when people are working and have higher incomes or incomes that are very variable, or there's interruptions where you're going back to work or taking time off for family or something like that. So if that's you, we would love to help you out, make a plan for your loans. Just reach out to us at help@studentloanplanner.com. We would love to make a custom plan for you for your loans so that you are one of the people that are going to get your loans forgiven. Because after all, the cumulatively approved PSLF borrowers now is almost 1 million people. This is absolutely going to happen, and people that are not expecting it for it to happen are going to be costing themselves a lot of money if they could have been eligible.